Lights, an ode to Karens, brought to you by Blerds in the Hood. Now, before we go into this dedication, you must be asking yourself, well, what is a Karen and what does it mean? Well, Karen is a mocking slang term for an entitled, obnoxious, middle-aged white woman, especially as featured in memes. Karen is generally stereotyped as having a blonde bob haircut, asking to speak to retail and restaurant managers to voice complaints or make demands, and being a nagging, often divorced mother from Generation X. Karens most notably have been known now to call the police on black people when they're just doing this thing called living. You know, something that God allowed them to do. This includes Barbecue Becky, Permit Patty, Sleepin' Sarah, and a host of others. And typically Karens feel that because they are white women, they are entitled to do whatever they want and make life choices based on their insecurities as well as fears. Well, here are a few moments of wild Karens caught in their natural habitat.
Guess who's going to jail tonight?
Okay, look, here we go. We're going to do this quick. Essentially what had happened, right?
What had happened was
this brother, Jelani Nelson, if you're not familiar with what's going on, there is a proposed California math framework. They're essentially trying to determine how math will be handled for elementary school students going forward. Jelani Nelson called out Joe, what's her name? Bowler, Dr. Joe Bowler.
Joanne Bowler.
She is out here in these streets. I'll bring this up in just a minute. She's out here in these streets as part of the board, but she that is in charge of this framework thing. And her particular style of what she wants to push forward as far as math, a number of mathematicians have been like, this is not helpful for the kids. Essentially, she's trying to get rid of Algebra 1 in 8th grade and to do data analysis instead. What you're essentially doing is you would be limiting the number of people that could actually get to calculus and higher STEM things by doing that. You are going to be hamstringing a number of people, but especially people of color. And that's one of the things that this mathematician from Berkeley is saying, this brother, Jelani Nielsen, saying, yo, if you do this, you're going to screw a lot of stuff over. Don't do it. But he also called out something that is of public record. She has been out in these streets going to schools in California demanding $5,000 per hour for her consultation to teach teachers how to do stuff like that, right? So a lot of times she will go to a school and make $40K on her appearances down there. A lot of teachers are making like $58 on the year, right? So here's what happens. He calls her out on that. And she sends this email to him. So a Stanford professor just threatened me with the police after Barbecue Becky, Permit Patty, Golf Cart Gail, completely forgot about that, and all of the other memes. You would think that she would know, but now we have retweet Rachel. Public advisory: don't call the cops on a black person for no reason. Black people disagreeing with you on Twitter is not a crime. So here's the email. If you can't read it, it says, "Dear Professor Nielsen, as you know, I am one of the authors of the proposed mathematics framework, and I know you are working to oppose it. If you ever reached out to any of the authors, we could have worked together to make sure your concerns were listened to and acted on. As a courtesy to a fellow faculty member, I wanted to let you know that the sharing of private details about me on social media yesterday is now being taken up with police and lawyers. I was shocked to see that you were taking part in spreading misinformation and harassing me online. Please take down the social media post and consider acting in more collegial and productive ways to help students get a better future in mathematics in California. If you would like to talk about your concerns with the writing team, we'd be happy to discuss them with you." Well, here's the thing. Everything that he posted about her did not, to be clear, what I retweeted is not information or private or harassment. It's a screenshot from the public record. See for yourself. And he gives a link. He then says, it's horrifying that the CMF claiming to uplift black children was co-authored by a person who finds police intimidation against blacks acceptable. I encourage concerned alumni and members of the Stanford community to express your concerns about this. And the funny thing is, the Stanford Review completely slammed her. Now, it was proven that he did not share any of her address. He actually blacked all of that out to make sure.
Redacted.
That's what I mean. He redacted it. He only put out the information about her out here fleecing people for money for her consultations and all that kind of stuff, and continue to call out that there's nobody of color on that board to help co-author this entire thing. So then she tried to do this little half-assed apology where she was like, "Dear Professor Nielsen, I want to apologize for leaving the impression that I referred to you to the authorities or was threatening to you. That is not what happened. I referred the original post, not yours, to Twitter because it violated Twitter's policies revealing my address. Indeed, Twitter locked that account for a time and had the tweet removed for violating its rules. As standard procedure, staff at Stanford alerted our threat prevention office, which includes
lawyers and police. Then my address was posted online. I've received death threats in the past. I did not mention your name to the authorities or to Twitter. I reached out to you, so you were aware that the original posting of my address was prohibited. I am very sorry that my communication wasn't clear. I understand why you might have read it in the way that you did. It's not what I intended. I wanted to chat with you, and I continue to welcome the opportunity to discuss in person any of the substantive concerns you have."
So all that being said, man, and I am more than happy. We'll put it in here, but
how many times do white women got to make themselves feel threatened off some shit that ain't feel threatening for them?
So it's one of those things, man, where I'm like, and that's the thing. Again, this is a standard agreement with her whole thing. I'm looking at it right here, where she is straight up charging. She started off charging $5,000 a session for a total of $20,000. She then came back and said, no. It's $5,000 per hour, and was charging double at $40,000. And it said, this is from the low performing student block grant. She straight up is taking from a bunch of people that are just trying to put stuff together to get their students to do better, and she's out here charging out the ass. Now, I'm not saying you don't charge what you're worth, but you're talking about someone that is actively fleecing the public school system while also being like, I'm looking out for the kids. No, you're not. No, you fucking not, dog. And on top of that, you're out here, whether you meant it or intended it or not, you're threatening black people with the police. So miss me with that shit, yo.
How many times do we deal with Karens threatening the police, whether it be on Twitter or in video?
I highly recommend that y'all go and look up the Stanford Law Review's report on it. As a matter of fact, here, hold on, because it was so well done and not biased, where they call out a little bit about stuff that Jelani could have done better, but mainly call out this woman that is a professor at their school and go, nah, fuck this woman. It's like, it's kind of wild.
Blerds in the Hood every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. All full episodes exclusively available on Twitch. www.twitch.tv/BLERDS, the letter NTHEHOOD. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe.